Hello everyone, my name is Naina and I'm from the Buddhi Academy. So in today's class, we'll continue with the chapter light. So in our last class, we have seen about the kaleidoscope, multiple image formations, can reflected light can be again reflected. We have seen all these things, right? What is the regular and diffuse reflection? So in today's class, we'll deal with whatever thing we have done till now. To observe that, to see that, it is necessary that we should have our eyes, right? So what is inside our eyes? So today we'll learn everything about our eyes. So we see things only when light coming from them enters our eyes. So we only see them when these lights fall into our eyes. So eye is one of our most important sense organ. So what is eye? It is one of the most important sense organs. So it is therefore important to understand its structure and working. So now it is very important for us to understand the structure and working of our eye because it is very important. So the eye has a roughly spherical shape. So our eye has a roughly spherical shape. So it is not exactly a circle, but it has a roughly spherical shape. The outer coat of the eye is white. So everyone can see the white part, right? That is the outer coat of eye. So the outer coat of eye is white. It is tough so that it can protect the interior of the eye from accidents. So that white part of the eye is tough. It is hard so that it can protect our interior eye. So it can protect our eyes from any accidents. Its transparent front part is called cornea. So the transparent front part is called cornea. So behind cornea, so this is the cornea. You can see this part. So this entire part, this is cornea. This entire part is cornea. So that helps us from any accident that could occur into our eye. So behind the cornea, we find a dark muscular structure called iris. So behind our eye is the iris. These dark muscular structures, these are iris. In the iris, there is a small opening called the pupil. So the size of the pupil is controlled by the iris. So there is a small opening. This is pupil, and the size of this pupil is controlled by iris. The iris is that part of eye which gives it its distinctive color. So this is the iris which gives it the color. So you know that green color, blue color, black color, brown color eyes we say. So this is the iris which gives it the distinctive color. When we say that a person has green eyes, we refer actually the color of the iris. Okay. So now I'm having a black eye. That means I'm referring to my iris which is having a black color. Okay. This particular part is the iris. So this is what it is said that the person is having a green color eye or a blue color eye. So the iris controls the amount of light entering into the eye. So iris is the one which controls the amount of light which enters into our eye. So how much amount of light is entering our eyes, what we are seeing, everything is controlled by iris. So iris is very important to our eyes. So behind the pupil of the eye is the lens which is thicker in the center. So behind the pupil there is the lens. So this is the lens which is thicker in center. So the center of this lens is thick. So the lens focuses light on the back of the eye on the layer called retina. So this lens, it focuses all the lights to the back of the eye, and this part is known as retina. Okay. The retina contains several nerve cells, and this retina, it contains several nerve cells. Sensation felt by the nerve cells are then transmitted to the brain through the optic nerves. So here you have optic nerves. So all the light which falls into the iris is then concentrated by the lens towards the retina, and this retina has optic nerves, that is nerves, and these nerves send a signal to your brain, and that's how we see things. Okay, so there are two kinds of cells, cones and rods. Cones which are sensitive to bright light. So when we see a bright light, it is the cones which are enabling us to see that bright light, and rods which are sensitive to dim light. So at night whatever we see is because of rods, and daylight we use cords. These are the two cells which are used. So cones sense color. So these cones, they sense color. At the junction of the optic nerve and the retina, there are no sensory cells, so no vision is possible at that spot. So at the junction of retina and optic nerve, so here the junction of retina and optic nerve, this junction is the blind spot where no vision is possible. If anything falls here, we can't see. So this is the part which is known as blind spot. So its existence can be demonstrated as follows. So how its existence can be demonstrated? Make a round mark and a cross mark on a sheet of paper with the spot to the right of the cross. Okay, like this you have to make the spots. The distance between two marks may be 6 to 8 centimeter. Hold the sheet of paper at an arm's length from the eye. Close your left eye. Look continuously at the cross. Move the sheet slowly towards you, keeping your eye on the cross. So once you do this, at a particular distance you won't be able to see that cross mark. So that is when it falls on the blind spot. The impression of an image does not vanish immediately from the retina. It persists about 1/16th of a second. So when you remove an object apart from your eye, the image doesn't vanish immediately. It remains there near the retina for a short period of time, for milliseconds. Okay, so if image of a moving object are flashed on the eye at a rate faster than 16 per second, then the eye perceives this object as moving. So that's why whenever we travel through a car, we could see some trees flashing off, right? Just okay, the tree, it just vanished. It's just because of this thing. So the movies that we see are actually a number of separate pictures in proper sequence. They are made to move across the eye, usually at the rate of 24 pictures per second, faster than 16 per second. So we see a moving picture. So the movies that we see are actually number of separate pictures. They shoot it, right? So it is a sequential thing, and they move that sequences so fast that we could see it in a orderly manner, that everything occurring in a sequence, neither with a cut. Okay, so nature has provided eyes with eyelids to prevent any object from entering the eye. So our eyelids protect our eyes so that it prevents any dust particles or something to fall from our eyes. So eyelids also shut out light when not required. So whenever bright light comes, we close our eyes, right? So that the light doesn't enter our eyes. So eyelids also prevent from unwanted lights to enter into our eye. So eye is such a wonderful instrument that it normal can clearly see distant objects as well as objects nearby. So from our eyes we can see things far away as well as things which are close by. So it is very important part of our body. The minimum distance at which eye can see object distinctly varies with age. So the things we could see, it varies, right? So the older peoples, they won't see things which are kept near, too close to them. Some can see but some cannot. So that depends with age, so how clearly they could see things. The most comfortable distance at which one can read with a normal eye is about 25 centimeter. So this is the normal distance with which we can read things. So some persons can see objects close to them clearly but cannot see distant objects so clearly. we have seen like people wearing specs, so they have certain people have problems with seeing things far away. Some of them have problems seeing things which are kept close by. So with suitable corrective lens, these defects of the eye can be corrected. So all these defects of eye can be corrected by using suitable lens. So that is why those people wear specs. Sometimes, particularly in old age, eyesight becomes foggy. It is due to the eye lens becoming cloudy. So older people usually they wear specs, right? Because their eye lenses they become cloudy. That's why they have to wear a specs. So when it happens, persons are said to have cataract. So when eye lens is becoming cloudy, this particular thing is known as cataract. Cataract operation, well, I must have heard that. So there is a loss of vision, sometimes extremely severe. So it is possible to treat this defect. So the opaque lens is removed and a new artificial lens is inserted. So that's why they do cataract surgeries, right? They remove these opaque cloudy lenses and they insert a new artificial lens. So care of the eye. Now you should take good care of your eyes. It is necessary that you take proper care of the eyes. If there is any problem, you should go to the eye specialist. If advised, use suitable spectacles, that is you have to use suitable specs. Too little or too much light is bad for your eyes. Insufficient light causes eye strain and headaches. Too much light, like that of the sun, a powerful lamp or a laser torch can injure the retina. And retina is the one which sends signal to the brain because it has the nerve cells attached to it. So do not look at the sun or a powerful light directly. So never rub your eyes if particles of dust go into your eyes. Wash your eyes with clean water or use a cloth, clean cloth to remove the dust, or you can consult a doctor also. Wash your eyes frequently with clean water. Always read at a normal distance for vision. Don't keep your book too close to your eyes or too far from your eyes. Keep it at a proper distance to read. So now you have learnt about balanced diet in your class 6. If food is deficient in some components, it can also affect your eyes, like lack of vitamin A in foodstuff responsible for many eye troubles. So most common amongst them is night blindness. So if there is vitamin A deficiency, it may cause night blindness. Okay, one should therefore include in the diet components which have vitamin A, like raw carrots, broccoli, green vegetables, cod liver oil. These are rich in vitamin A. Eggs, milk, cheese, butter, all these fruits, vegetables, meat, these are all rich in vitamin A, which you should include in your food so that you won't get night blindness. Next is visually challenged persons can read and write. Now you know that the ones which are blind, they can also read and write. So how? Some persons, including children, can be visually handicapped. Visual means you're seeing, your eyes. So they are visually handicapped. They have very limited vision to see things. Some persons cannot see at all since birth. So since birth, some are blind. Some persons may lose their eyesight because of a disease or because of deficiency of A or anything, any accidents. So because of any reason they can lose their eyesight. So such persons try to identify things by touching and listening to the voice more carefully. So the blind people, they usually identify things either by touching them or identify a person either by listening to their voice. So they develop their other senses more sharply. So if you have any hearing sense, if you don't talk, but you will have a nice hearing and a visual sense. Now if you are visually impaired, then you will have nice hearing sense, smelling, your nose will smell everything so quickly, so they will develop their other senses sharply. So however, additional resources can enable them to develop their capabilities further. One of them is Braille system. Braille system you can see everywhere now. Those dots, anything written on a board, below there will be some dots representing that. Those are the ones which are for blind people. They can touch that thing and identify what is written there, because each alphabet has a particular dot symbol. So the most popular resource for visually challenged person is Braille. So Louis Braille himself, a visually challenged person, he himself was a visually challenged person, and he developed a system for visually challenged persons in 1821. The present system was adopted in 1932. There is Braille code for common languages, mathematics and scientific notations. So this is Braille's code which he has given for all the languages, mathematics, scientific notations. Okay, many Indian languages can be read using the Braille system. So using this system, many of our languages can also be read. So Braille system has 63 dot patterns or characters. Each character represents a letter, a combination of letters, a common word or a grammatical sign. So dots are arranged in cells of 2 vertical rows or of 3 dot each. So patterns of dot to represent some English letters and some common words are shown here. So like this 2 dot means it is C, single dot means A, and this represents T. So this is cat. So if the person can, their sense, touching sense also increases, so they can touch it and identify the alphabets. So these patterns were embossed on Braille sheets, help visually challenged persons to recognize words by touching. So this is how they read the things. So visually challenged people learn the Braille system by beginning with letters, then special characters and letter combinations. So methods depend upon recognition by touching. Each character has to be memorized. Braille text can be produced by hand or by machine. So typewriter like devices and printer machines have now been developed. So all the Braille system, they start from identifying the letters, then the special characters, and then the letter combination, and they have to memorize all these characters. Then only they can read the things quickly. So typewriters like devices are now produced so that they could type and tell what they want to say. So in today's class we have seen about the eye, human eye, what are the parts of human eye, why we have to protect our eye, and what are the things that we have to do to protect. Then we have seen how visually challenged persons can read and write. So this is all about the chapter light. Thank you for watching my video. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.